My name is Mandy Pryor, and welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. We are here with Rocco Cozza of Cozza Law Group. It is his third time on the podcast, and it is our 30th episode. So we're excited to see what Rocco has to say and find out more about what's going on in the legal system and what you need to know for your business. Hi, Rocco.
How are you?
Third time's a charm, right?
I know. It's yeah, I didn't realize. I thought it was only my second time, but I guess it is my third time.
Third time. So how does it feel?
Good.
He's our first third timer. It's very exciting.
No, I feel honored, definitely. These are always a fun time, so I'm excited to hear what you have in store for me.
Good. And Rocco was a partner of the Chamber of Commerce. He's also stepped onto the board to give us a hard time this year, so we're excited to have you and have you shake things up. So can you tell me a little bit more about Cozza Law Group for those out there who don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely.
New year, new you.
Yeah. So I founded the firm out in 2019. I've been practicing law for almost 22 years now, which is a long time. But the firm, we have really three primary focuses. Business and transactional law, which we represent, from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Everything from governance, contracts, employee matters, IP, everything really that business needs. We act as their outside general counsel. We also do commercial litigation. We have a litigation team, and then estate planning as well, which for our business owner clients and entrepreneurs, it's really helping them plan their legacy. That can deal with their succession planning of their business or protecting their family, protecting their assets. I also myself do a little bit of entertainment law. That's just really business law within that industry. That's really the main primary focus areas of the firm. We just try and approach things very differently. When I started out in law, I was at a big law firm. Then I went in-house and ran the legal department of an IT company for 14 years. So I saw everything that I didn't want to do as a law firm, and we've just been trying to change the way we operate. And truly our motto is giving our clients peace of mind. And that's really, I stress that with everyone on my team from the first interaction they have with our firm until their matter is closed. I want to make sure that client has peace of mind throughout the entire process. And that could be over communicating, making sure we're being transparent in the way we do things, and just sometimes it's just holding their hand and letting them know it's going to be okay. Yeah. And that's really what we stress, because it's anytime you're dealing with a lawyer, most people don't like lawyers, let's be real.
What? I've never heard that before.
Right. Why do you think there's so many lawyer jokes? But it truly is. My job, as running the firm and as a lawyer to clients, is to really provide them peace of mind. So I don't want them to worry about the things they've put in my hands. That's why I'm here. So they have their own business to run, they have their own life to manage, and they should focus on that. When they hand something off to me or my firm, I want to make sure that's handled with the utmost attention and they have peace of mind through every step of the way.
Yeah, business owners, no matter what size, they're good at what they do. You're good at what you do. So sometimes they're taking it into their own hands and really need the assistance and the so much more about so many laws and different factors that work together.
There are a lot of things that I will because I'm very candid with business owners. I'm not in the business of transactions, right? I'm not in it for the dollars. It's really providing counsel to clients. And there are things I will tell clients, you don't need me to do this. This is very simple. I'll walk them through the process. Don't pay me to do that. However, there are a lot of things I will tell them you should be paying us to do, because I always like to use the analogy of building a house. If you're starting a business, or think of it as building a house, the actual governance documents, the entity you're forming, is like the foundation. Would you pour your own foundation of your house? Probably not. You shouldn't.
No, you would not want to be very unlevel.
Right, exactly. Same here. I have no handyman skills, but you can paint the walls yourself, right? Yeah. And there are certain things in a business, filling out a form or doing some sort of registration. I'll say, hey, this is all you need to do. Call me, I'll walk through it. I'm not going to charge you for it, because I don't want clients to feel like it's about the transaction, the dollars. It's really about the relationship we're building over time. So I've just always tried to approach it that way, and I hope that I'm serving clients the way they want to be served.
Yeah, and even at the Chamber of Commerce, we receive forms, and you look at it, you're like, oh man, this is in depth. You're like, this is above my skill level here.
But there are certain things, and again, this is where the peace of mind comes in that I say with clients. it may seem overwhelming, a lot of things you have to do as a business owner, but it's really taking it one step at a time. I always say, what's the next thing we have to accomplish? Like, because when you're starting a business, or even running a business, you have employees, you have contracts, you have vendors, you have potential intellectual property issues. And a business owner sometimes can get very overwhelmed. Like, I've had meetings in my office where someone comes in and I can see it on their face. I can feel it in their body language. They're just overwhelmed. And it's my job to dissect what's going on and point them in the right path. To say, let's just worry about this thing. Let's just take the next step. And that's a way of providing peace of mind, because if we don't do this, none of this other stuff matters. So it's really trying to take the overwhelm that sometimes encompasses a business owner, narrowing it down and getting them to understand it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
Let's take it one step at a time and let me do what I do so you can do what you do.
Yeah, I think simplifying things and getting another person's perspective in the, helps. It's supportive, and their brain is all over the place. They've got all kinds of things going on, and and they want to, and it's doing it the right way too. So that down the road, you don't come back and you're like, oh man, that's a mess. Like this is a train wreck from, this is an issue to complete disaster.
Well, and that's why, I'll give you an example. I spoke to a potential client, this was a couple of weeks ago. Younger guy, in the entertainment business, like really, really interesting business. And as we were talking through it, there were certain things that we were having this discussion about stuff he wanted to get done. And I'm always very candid with people because I've been doing this a long time. I can see what's going to happen. And then he said to me, I could probably just do that myself. And I said, look, there are many things you can do yourself. I said, this is one of those things, if you do this yourself, I can guarantee you within 2 years, you'll be paying me 10 times to fix what you messed up. Yeah. So it's sometimes just having that different perspective and letting someone, because a lot of times people aren't candid with potential clients. Like, I like to be very candid with people because I want to provide the right advice. In that instance, I said, if you do that yourself and try and figure this piece out, there's so many intricacies to it, you're gonna mess it up, and then you're gonna pay me a lot of money to fix the problems that it created, instead of just paying me 1/10 of that right now to do it right, and then I'll have to worry about it. Sometimes it's just getting someone to shift their perspective.
Well, and you can call it the American dream syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, what if your business actually succeeds? So you start this business, it's small and you're doing good and everything, and all of a sudden, like, something jumps. Yeah. And your business starts doing really, really well. Well, there's a whole lot that you don't know that goes with being that successful. Yeah. All kinds of different things start coming into play, and you're kind of paddling for your life. Yeah. Whereas if they came to you, they could say, okay, well, here's how we can adjust this so we can support you better. Yeah,
there's a lot of times where, clients will be drinking through a fire hose because they don't anticipate what's coming. I always say my job is, outside of giving peace of mind, is to anticipate what's coming and help you stay ahead of that and mitigate your risk. Like, that is truly, as lawyers, we are risk mitigators. That is me understanding, I've seen this before, I kind of know the business you're getting into, I know the issues you're probably going to face. Let's set you up now to address those when they come. If you try and do it yourself, and I've had a lot of clients do that, where they come to us after the fact and it's a disaster. And then it's my job to say, okay, let's break things apart, let's put it back together the right way. And it can be an expensive and time-consuming and energy-consuming process where it could have been completely different had they done it the right way from the jump.
Yeah, and with that growth also comes more employees. And so first you just have this, administrative assistant, and all of a sudden you're like, well, then I have 3 people or 2 people on sales, and then I have somebody doing whatever. Yeah. And I don't know how to manage this at all. Yeah. So they don't have a handbook, which I know employee handbooks are important once you're, especially in a growth pattern.
There's a lot of things that are important, and I'll give people that are watching a couple words of caution when it comes to independent contractors versus employees. We've had probably maybe 5 or 6 clients over the past 6 to 9 months get audited for the treatment of employees and independent contractors. And these were situations where maybe someone didn't get paid, they called the Department of Labor, complained, an audit happens, and then there's an investigation that comes up. And a lot of these clients had to pay a significant amount of money in back taxes and penalties because they miscategorized workers. I would caution everybody, if you have independent contractors in your business right now, meet with someone, a lawyer, a business lawyer that understands and helps you dissect that position to make sure they are classified and categorized correctly. Because if you don't do it the right way and you get audited, it's a lot of money, legal fees, penalties, taxes, interest. It's expensive. And one of the big things right now with independent contractors, they truly have to be in business for themselves, meaning they have to be able to lose money working for you. And they have to be actively seeking other engagements. This is what we talked to auditors that were auditing these people. And a lot of them, I believe, were truly independent contractors. There were pieces that were missing. They said, yeah, but we couldn't prove, our client couldn't prove that they were actively seeking other work. They were an independent, they had their own business set up, they could lose money, but they weren't seeking any other work.
Because they got like a big contract with one person.
Yeah,
and they just sat on it. They're like, well, I'm good.
Exactly, and they weren't going out and doing it. So you have to, it's a very intricate area of the law, and and I understand why clients do it, because it's expensive to have employees. You're paying employer taxes. There's a lot of costs that are involved, but sometimes that's the cost of doing business and doing it the right way, because if you get audited, it's not a fun process. And luckily, the auditors we've dealt with over the past 6-7 months have all been very easy to deal with, and have actually been helpful and have tried to work with our clients, but they still got dinged for fees.
Yeah.
Which is not fun as a business,
No.
especially a small business, right? You have
And
4 or
I'm
5
sure it happens
employees.
more with small businesses than the bigger businesses, because they can only afford so much. They can only
Exactly.
afford this independent contractor, quote unquote.
Yes. And the biggest reason it's happened, like, people didn't get paid. So they got angry and they called and reported the company. And then the Department of Labor, the Unemployment Compensation Bureau, they have to do an investigation when you have a report. And then we have to prepare documents and provide documents, and it's a mess. So that is something, if anybody out there watching has independent contractors, really look long and hard at those people to make sure they actually qualify as independent contractors. Because if not, you're sitting on a time bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what else? What else for our business owners out there?
I always tell people, there's a lot of things you should be doing as a business owner. That's number one, right? That is a hot button issue right now. 2, you should be looking at your contracts every 18 to 24 months, because we work with clients, we draft their contracts for them, but if their business changes or their model shifts or there's new issues that come up, we need to make sure those are addressed in the actual agreements we're using. So that is something we always do.
So
health
then if
checks
something
with
happens,
clients.
you don't come back and you're like, well, that's not in your contract.
Right, exactly. And understand, you should always have a written contract. Don't do things on a handshake. And don't think just because you have a purchase order or a sales order or a quote, you're getting work done, and someone, you're getting work done from a contractor, we'll say, and they give you a quote that says, hey, $10,000, here's what I'm going to do, but there's no other terms and conditions on it. What's governing the relationship?
Yeah.
You don't know. So you got to have these are things
And we're like,
to
this
think
is just
about.
a piece of paper that says you did something.
Right. There's a lot of issues when it comes to contracts. So that's always the second thing. And then 3, I would say, making sure your actual foundation is set up the right way. Your governance documents. Do you have the right entity? Do you have the right documents? With that entity, the appropriate operating agreement or bylaws. Are you keeping corporate records? Are you maintaining the corporate records? These are just little compliance things that they take a little bit of time, but it helps you tremendously down the road in the event an issue happens. That's why again, like, we always do health checks with our clients. Like, hey, let's just sit down and talk and work through what's changed in your business. Has anything changed? What do we need to adjust? Have you brought on partners? Have you brought on employees? Have you changed the way you do business? We need to relook at those documents. Those are really important things as business owners to understand. Then the other thing is just, most business owners don't have an estate plan.
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling to me, but is actually more common than people think. I mean, I always tell people, think about this. If you don't have an estate plan, like a power of attorney,
Yes.
and you're the sole business owner, and say, God forbid, you get into a car accident, you're in the hospital for 2 weeks, and you've given no one power of attorney to manage your finances, and your employees don't get paid, what's going to happen? Are you going to have a business when you come out of the hospital? Like, these are the little things that people just don't think about because no one wants to think about.
Especially after all the fender benders yesterday on Saturday night.
Well, yeah, there was, I mean, that was wild.
I was very fortunate not to, like, usually I have to drive across
Yeah.
all those bridges to get to drop my kids off, and I didn't have to yesterday. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I just had to go the back way to work.
I mean, I looked out my window because we can see the parkway, and I mean, it was backed up, and apparently there was a 10-car accident.
And then there's me driving through on the back road, listening to loud music. I'm like, why is everybody, what's happening?
Right? Well, because I got to the office, I'm like, why is no one here yet? You know,
Oh, yeah, right?
I mean, I mean, my son, who's, you know, he took him an hour and a half to get to the office, sitting in traffic.
My meeting
so.
was like 25 minutes late, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
I heard there was some, it's okay.
That's what I mean.
I'm here, enjoying my coffee.
So those
That was
fender
nice.
benders, those can definitely, those can cause issues. But that's really something that, again, every business owner should think about. You know, having some sort of, and it's more of a legacy plan, right? You're planning your legacy. Like, you want to make sure you're not burdening your family with having to make these decisions in the event something happens, especially when you own a business.
And if you don't have anybody in your family you like, you can definitely
Yeah.
put me on it.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Yes.
send
Just give
me
all your stuff to
over.
Mandy.
I'll help you out.
Yes, but it's important. And the other thing too, which is interesting, which I've been talking to a few clients about recently, is, you know, when you have kids that are maybe in college, right? Once they're 18, you don't necessarily have access to everything, so they may need to give you, the parents, power of attorney in the event something would happen to them. Because just because you're their parents, once they reach the age of majority, 18. That doesn't mean you can get access to their medical records. That doesn't mean you can get access to their bank accounts just because you're their parent. You need to get power of attorney for that too. These are just things that a lot of people aren't even thinking about these days.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to think about whenever you're in the business.
Yes, it's a constant evolution, but I always tell people, don't get overwhelmed, right? Take things one step at a time, because if you try and think about everything or anticipate everything, you'll almost get analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
I mean, you will.
I like that.
I mean, it's true. Like, you'll get so bogged down with overthinking everything that you won't do anything. Just take the next step. Just do one thing, and then do the next, then do the next, and just.
It happens to me almost once a week.
Well,
right there. I'm gonna start calling it that. At least I'll laugh.
Well, I mean, but that happens to a lot of people, right? It's a common thing because business can be. I mean, you're running the chamber, right? It's overwhelming. There's a lot of things that happen.
A lot of moving parts.
Right, and that's any business owner, right? You know, I'm a business owner. I have 10 employees. I have, you know, hundreds of clients. I have, you know, payroll to make, bills to pay, and then just life to live. So you're trying to juggle all these things. I always say, just understand what's the most important thing to do. And the rest will kind of take care of itself, but just get the most important thing done first, then move to the next. If you try and do everything, most likely you won't do anything.
Or there'll be errors along the way.
100%.
Sure.
It definitely, we're living through an interesting time right now.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. So what about new business owners? What about people who are like, I have this great idea, or I have this great business, I need, you know, whether it's starting from their own pocket to contracts, to loans.
Yep.
What suggestions do you have to them when they're first starting out?
One, test the idea. That's first and foremost. I've seen too many clients spend a lot of money and time setting up a business and doing all this stuff when they have a service or a product that no one wants. And I hate to say that, and that's not meant to be coy or to be jestful. It's more of it's a truth in the market. Test the market. Don't spend a bunch of money.
Don't spend your life
something.
savings starting a company that you don't know if it works.
Right. It may be. I always tell people, it may be a great idea in your head, and it may be a great idea, and your close circle may tell you that's an awesome idea. Will your close circle give you money for it? Go out and find people that would pay you for what you're selling, the service or the product. That's how you know you may have a viable business. But if no one's going to pay you for it, it might be a great idea, but does it solve a problem? Like, ask that first question when you're starting a business. Does this solve an actual problem that people have and people will pay money to solve?
I know. I have my $1 million idea. I've been sitting on it for 2 years.
Do I even want to ask what this idea is?
I don't know if I should tell. What if somebody? I don't think anybody out there is going to steal it.
Okay, well.
Can you trademark me real quick? He just trademarked me.
Yes, trademarked, yes.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what this idea is now.
I don't know if it'll work.
Okay.
It'd be like a tag-along product. So,
Okay.
I play volleyball.
Okay.
Rainy, we'll still play in the rain.
Okay.
We'll play at the beach.
Okay.
They have waterproof balls,
Okay.
but they are
So
plastic.
waterproof balls?
They do.
Okay.
You could buy them, but they're plastic. Nobody plays with them. So
Okay.
we all end up playing with our leather traditional volleyball.
Okay.
So one day it was pouring. I was playing
Mm-hmm.
volleyball, and this is so stupid. I
No.
was making a joke.
Okay.
And I had my kid's diaper in the car,
Okay.
and I put it around it. I was like, "See, this will block." And I was just making a joke out of it.
Okay.
I'm like, "But what if? What if we designed?" I can't believe I shared that part. What if there was like something that you could put around your volleyball that you always have,
Okay.
like a silicone
Okay. Like a volleyball
covering?
diaper.
Basically, but it would cover the whole thing. It would
Okay.
probably, remember those little
Yeah.
squish wallets from like the 80s?
Yeah,
But it would be silicone instead,
Okay.
so it'd have more give.
Okay.
And you just threw that on your ball, and then you could play with your ball that you have. It wouldn't be as like plastic
Okay.
as the other ones.
Okay.
The only thing somebody brought up is, will the sand stick to it if it gets wet? So now I got to go get some
Well,
the
so-
material I want and go like rub it in the sand when it's raining. This is my next step to see if that would work.
But this is actually a good analogy because if you were a potential client coming to this
Yeah.
idea, the first question I would ask is how many people play volleyball in the rain?
Well, but I'm thinking the beach too.
But think about it. So I don't know. I'm not a volleyball person. So is it practical that every time you play, your ball's going to get wet at the beach or when you're playing outside?
Well, and see, I've thought about a lot of these questions too. Like, would I throw it? Like, would they just throw it in their bag just to have it?
Yeah.
So, would they go out to a store and buy it individually? Like, would
Mm-hmm.
they say, "I need this right now," or would it be something I'd have to approach a bigger volleyball production company and say, "Hey, tag this on,
Okay.
tag this onto the product for an upsell," or
Okay.
put those compartment box and have the
Yeah.
box on the side. So there's different ways.
I like it.
But I think I don't know if it would be a big enough market for it because it would
Yeah.
be such a
That's always
niche
that's always the
product.
question, right?
There'd have to be some finagling in there to make it.
Yeah. Is it something that you?
But you could make them bright. You could make them, so attractive that people just want to get it.
Yeah,
Have it.
Understandable, but I really do think it comes down to how big is the market. Like how many people play volleyball,
I mean, it's a pretty big industry.
but how many people will play it so much that like, I will play in the rain or shine, and
I don't know.
I
need a full-on
this.
market analysis.
Well, that's the thing.
Now, I do know of a university that will do.
No, I don't.
They will create the prototype for you.
I don't, Andy.
So you
I'm
can
sorry.
test it.
I mean, I like the idea though.
I like the idea, but have I made any
solving,
progress?
It's solving a problem that you saw, right? I always say, and that's how most really interesting ideas come up. They come from a problem that the person sees.
Yes.
I always say, is it a problem everyone sees?
Yeah.
Like look at the
Because it would honestly, one person having that on the entire volleyball team,
right.
that's all you need.
Right. Does every person have a volleyball? Like, does every person that plays volleyball
There's usually
have a volleyball?
Okay.
Or are they always going to bring their ball with their cover?
Usually.
So that's
They're
the thing to
pretty
think
crazy.
about.
You
I
guys are
don't-
pretty crazy about your.
Listen, I don't know.
And the
I'm
fact
not a
that they're
volleyball guy.
leather, they get water saturated, ruins the ball too.
Okay, so I don't
So
know
that's
all
going
these
to cost
things.
them some.
Yeah,
cash
see, I don't
to
know these
replace.
things. So that's this.
I didn't know I knew all of this either.
But hey, but these are how product ideas are born.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the guy who invented the thing that holds the pizza box up. He got tired of having the cheese stick to the pizza box. Literally, that piece of plastic little table.
I love the little table.
But
My Barbie
think about the
table.
person think about who invented that, right? It solved the problem.
Very inexpensive to make.
Yeah, but that's a problem everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody orders pizza, and everybody was getting probably tired of getting their cheese stuck to the box. And that solved the problem. So that's like if there's a big enough market in the volleyball world that people are like, I wish there was something that covered my ball when I'm playing when it's wet outside. Then you might
Or
have
they go,
something.
oh my God, what's that? I need that.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
also true. I mean sometimes it's just the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Especially if it's like
You
tie-dye.
want to be the cool kid on the team that has the volleyball cover.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to make them look really cool. Like, make one look like wood, make them glow in the dark for night. That would be good to cross over into glow in the dark because then people play at
Do people
night.
play volleyball at night?
Oh,
in the
we're
dark?
crazy. We
Man, it's
play
a
the
whole new
lights
world
come
I don't
on.
even
You
know
can't
about.
see the ball, but if it glowed in the dark, you
Okay.
could always see the ball. You
Yeah.
could play in a pool.
Okay. I mean, I did not realize this was that big of a thing, volleyball.
Once my brain goes, it's like,
Yeah, I can see it's bouncing all over the place. That's
Yeah.
good. That's the
call me the
entrepreneur in
squirrel.
you.
That's what usually people call me
But
a
that's
squirrel.
to bring it back to business. I mean, that's the struggle of every entrepreneur.
Well, and a lot just go, oh my God, I love this idea. I'm going to go make it, and I'm going to go
Yes.
start selling it, and this is going to be my only business, and I'm investing $10,000 into
Well,
it. And you're like,
yes.
no.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Pause.
And you do, what's it called?
What? We don't do patents if that's what you're looking at.
No, you do trademarks.
Trademarks, copyrights. We file
Copyrights.
copyrights.
No, the, is it business plan? No, it's something else. When you're, the legal documents, if you're going to go try and sell your product or your,
like we
I'm not a
help
lawyer.
we
Help me,
help
lawyer.
people with licensing agreements.
Thank you.
And yes, we do a lot of that. Yeah, and like I said, a lot of what we do is truly advising a business in every aspect of their business, from buying a company, selling a company, manufacturing their products, distributing their products, selling a product line, doing royalty agreements, licensing agreements, franchise agreements. We help with all of that.
And overseeing leases and
Yeah, I mean,
if you're buying a building, if you're doing construction to build your own.
yes, we do all of that. And again, those are all things that, depending on the business you're going to face. Like you're going to face a contract all the time in any business you're in. And I always tell people those are certain things. There are certain things in life that I always say, don't be penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah.
Like have someone, if it's a contract for $500, it's really not much at risk. Are you going to pay me to review it? You probably don't need to. But if it's a contract of significant value that has significant risk, have a lawyer look at it for a few hours. Spend the time understanding, because the way the words are structured on a page can change the entire framework of that agreement, can change the entire intent of a paragraph, where the commas place. So if you don't understand that, and AI is not going to solve that for you. Like a lot of people think that because of AI now it can do this. Yes, AI can do certain analysis, but if you don't even know how to frame it to do the analysis, you're going to miss glaring issues. And I've seen it happen too many times. I had a potential client a few weeks ago, had a contract, said, I did this through AI, I think this is good, you mind taking a look at it? I said, well, I'm not going to revise the contract that you did through AI, but it was a friend of mine, so I'm like, let me just take a look. I said, this is missing like 15 things that I would put in. And this was for like a significant business transaction. And I said, luckily it was a friend of mine, I said, listen.
Don't do this.
This is dumb. This is a dumb idea. Like, I get why you want to use AI. Like, AI is great. It helps tremendously in every aspect of business. However, I'm telling you, I'm a lawyer. You told me what the deal was. It's missing like 15 things I would put in here. And it's only because you don't even know what you're missing. You don't know what to frame it, how to frame it. So that's the other
They're
thing.
like, this looks good.
Right. And that's the cautionary tale of AI. Like, it's amazing what's happening. And there's so much, it can make things so efficient, but I try and,
Be mindful that it's not a person with a
it's
law
good way of
degree.
putting it. Be mindful in anything, in any
And
profession.
it could pull from different states with different laws.
Right.
It could pull from
Yes.
things that work for one company, but is not going to work for your company because it's
Exactly.
set up differently.
Yes.
So
I always say, people should, in any aspect of their business, don't rely on AI. You still need the human aspect to things, but use AI to make you more efficient.
yeah.
To make you better at what you do. I mean, I use it like we were talking in our last board meeting. I told you just the way I've built certain AI tools to just make things faster for me, like the marketing and the content creation. Like, it's amazing when you go down the rabbit hole of AI and learn how to plug things together and create these, what they call AI agents, that now I can put a link on a Google Sheet. It'll take that link, write a blog post for me, I'll edit that blog post, and I could do it, and I could email it to myself or email it to a client. There's so many things you can do. I could send a Telegram message to this AI agent. It'll book a meeting for me on my calendar in like 30 seconds. I can say, hey, can you book a meeting with Mandy for 9 o'clock tomorrow? It'll go, boom, send you a meeting request for 9 o'clock, all through just a Telegram message. It's crazy what it can do. So
It sounds like it.
there's a lot of stuff out there and that's why I think the business landscape is going to change tremendously over the next 24 months. Like, how we look at the world right now.
We have one of our members, VJ, and he has like the chat bots that you can add to your website, and those can probably pre-booked for you.
Oh, yeah.
And like the AI calling, if you're
Yep.
calling into an AI person.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like there's so many different things, and I
Yeah.
think that you get overwhelmed and boggled down with that. But like,
Yes.
pick one that
Exactly.
looks potentially like it could do a lot, and
Yeah.
they really do. I mean,
That's a good point. Like, pick one course of action.
yeah,
And go, like what do they say? The focus stands for focus on one course until successful. Like, I think a lot of business, and I was guilty of this when I first started in business as an entrepreneur, that I was trying to do everything. Then once I got really clear on one path, then you just get really focused and just follow that one path until you're successful. You know, I know a lot of people that try and do marketing, right? You're in the marketing industry. They try and do every type of marketing, but they don't pick one way to get really good at it. Like, pick a platform, get really good at it. Like, if you're,
I love LinkedIn.
that's what I mean. So there, like, so
Yeah.
if someone's trying to build a professional
But you're
network,
Instagram, right?
like I'm more Instagram, TikTok. I do LinkedIn. I first went hard on Instagram, tried to master that. So I've got good there, and then build a following. I moved to TikTok, and now I'm still doing those, but also doing more on LinkedIn and YouTube now. So I've slowly stacked on the platforms. But I had to get really good at one thing, and I said Instagram.
Well, and it's different content, and it's different people following, and you
Yeah.
have to kind of adjust for that. Like, we post, the Chamber has a scheduler, so it's posting on our Facebook
Yeah.
and our LinkedIn at the same time. Our LinkedIn gets 20 times the amount of engagement that our Facebook does. It's the same content, different platforms, different
Yeah.
engagement, different audience.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if you see one working in whatever you're doing, like,
Yeah.
don't wait. I mean, you can make it better, but
Yes.
don't waver from that. Like,
Yes.
try and figure out what's working and then say, all right, I've been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah, most people don't give it enough time. They don't. They'll try it for a month and say that's not working. It's
Yeah.
like I always say, you've got to commit to 90 days of hard effort on one course.
I would say even longer than that.
But I mean, at the bare minimum, I agree. You're 100%
Like
right.
YouTube is 2 years to build.
Absolutely. But
YouTube,
think,
you start putting content out and then you're like, oh, 100 views, 100 views, 100
Yeah.
views. And then like 2 years later, go back to those and there's like
Yes.
10,000 views.
Right.
But you gave up after 6 months. So now
Exactly.
you have nothing going on there
yeah, it's
because you
definitely.
just pulled the plug because you're like, it's time consuming. It's not working.
Yeah. And I think, and again, I was guilty of that in the past. You start on a path, you get frustrated because you're not getting results quick enough. Then I just got really focused at, okay, if I know the pathway and someone else has done it, I just got to follow that path until I'm successful. It may take longer, but just be methodical in what you do, and just as a business owner, whatever you have, if you've watched someone in your industry do something, you say, let me just replicate this. Do it until you become that or get successful, because obviously someone else has done it. That means it can be done, but most people give up on the 5-yard line. They're just like, it's not happening. And they just quit and do something else. So they never get the traction.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I've watched it happen where people had really good business ideas.
And what can you tell to businesses out there who, have their own branding, but like, what can they watch out for so they don't get in trouble with other people's branding and copyrights and trademarks, which we watch in some of the bigger companies?
Yes, protect it. Like if you have a unique name, logo, or slogan, like in that you've used in the marketplace, trademark it. Protect it if you can. Put copyright notices on all the things that you've created that are unique to you, like your web pages, any ebooks you create or any marketing material. Like, put copyright notice on, but also understand people are going to steal your stuff.
Yeah.
So don't get
Especially in the
upset.
culture now.
Yes,
It's very-
so easy.
It's there's really nothing on social media. Nobody's really
Right.
going after anybody. But I don't think it will stay like that forever. I think they'll have more AI involved and they'll just flag it, grab it.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right. Like, that is happening, and it's. I also say, like, just watch the marketplace, because you do. If you have a trademark, your obligation as a mark owner is to police the mark. Meaning, if I see somebody infringing on it, I have to take action, send a cease and desist letter. Because if I don't with one person, then do with someone else, am I really protecting the mark? If I knew about both. Same thing we say with like any type of, as a business, non-competes or non-solicitation agreements. If you have with employees, you can't cherry pick who you enforce them against, because the whole point of these restrictions are you have a protectable business interest. So is it something that I value highly if I'm not enforcing it against everybody? So you've got to make sure you're very consistent in your application of protecting your brand or your business. Like that's where a lot of business owners get wrong. It's just protecting the brand. And that's, if you have that, and then understand too, like if you're creating logos from things like Canva or other things, you don't own the copyright in that. They read the terms. Every term of service in those websites will have commercial use provisions. You got to understand, like, because I've seen people try and trademark logos they create on Canva and they get dinged for it. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Just understanding the terms of use of the platforms you're creating things on. That's something you got to do as a business owner as well. Yeah.
I don't think many people knew that one.
You didn't know that one?
No, I mean, I guess I've thought it through on that, but.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big issue, like probably a year and a half ago that, now you can buy commercial use of certain things, but some people use these free sites and they take something and then, like, I've had clients get dinged for using photos from other sites because there are companies out there that truly just police the use of photographs. They go out there, they search the metadata, they find people that have a photo that they may have used months ago or years ago. You owe us $1,000 for the license. Then you got to argue with them and say we didn't know, and it's like they don't care. It's just
they don't care.
It's a whole. There's companies out there that are just doing that, so be careful.
Better.
Yes. Make sure you have the right to use anything you're taking. Don't take photos or stuff from other websites and put them on yours. Just a bad idea. Yeah. Literally just a bad idea. Don't do that. So that's the biggest cautionary tale I can give in that instance.
My profile picture gets stolen and used everywhere all the time.
Don't even get me started about that. I mean, that's a whole other topic we could talk about because that has happened to me.
That has happened to you.
Way more than I care to admit. I mean,
you got to search for your own.
I mean, I've literally had probably over 30 people message me on various platforms. I got catfished by someone using your photos. I'm like, what? And I've emailed and said to Instagram, take it down. It's me. Like, reported them.
Yeah.
They're like, it doesn't violate our community standards. I'm like, it's pictures of me and my kids. That this person's name is Bob. I'm the guy in the pictures. I'm telling you, that is me.
I hope you're not sneaking into random people's DMs.
No. It's like, it's
His name is Josh.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what it is. But it's wild to me. I mean, it happened a month ago.
Again.
Someone messaged me on Facebook, said, hey, just want to let you know. Someone called our office like 2 years ago. A woman from California sent a guy money that was using my photos, and she had this relationship with this guy.
Didn't that happen to Brad Pitt?
I don't know.
I don't know. Get together.
I'm just like a normal dude from Pittsburgh. Like, nothing, just normal guy. Like, why are people, like, just use your own photos. Like, why are you doing this? It drives me crazy because there's nothing you could do. Like, I have to have a public profile because I'm a lawyer and it's my business. So I can't make all of my profiles private. So people just take it and they do this stuff.
And I mean, watermarking it at this point doesn't even help save you from it.
No, it doesn't.
They'll just remove it. They know what they're doing.
Right. And then
they'll crop it. Like, unless you put it like right here.
Right. But then you can't even report it and say, I'm like, this is me. Take this down. I get a message back. It doesn't violate our community standards. I'm like, how does it not violate? These are my photos of me. I'm telling you, but it's the world we live in, unfortunately.
You're just popular.
No, I don't know what it is. Listen, don't even get me started.
Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about today other than your celebrity profile being all over the place?
No, not a celebrity, farthest thing from. No, I mean, I think it's an interesting time we're walking into right now with the rapid speed of technology development. And I always tell all of my clients and us as a law firm, we're trying to always stay on the forefront. Understand what's coming, be ahead of it, be cautionary in the things you do, but also, like, we're living in the coolest time right now. Like, it really, when you think about, like, we're living in probably the coolest time.
I can't wait to see what happens.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm excited for it. Like, it is really, like, it's inspiring to see.
Like, if you thought you were working really fast before, it's going to work. I mean, things are going to work for you now.
Just
everything's going to change.
Just like the last time we talked, we talked about AI a little bit.
Yeah.
The rapid development since that last podcast to now is exponential. When you think about it, like, there are literally, you can create a person with AI that will do everything for you. These AI agents, and it is, if you go on YouTube and just search an AI agents, there's a website called n8n.io that you can build these on for free. And I'm not a tech guy. I'm not I don't know everything, but I've built them myself for myself pretty easily. And it's wild what they can do, like wild. And that's just right now. 2 years from now, we'll have robots sitting here for us probably.
Right.
We'll send our body doubles in to do these podcasts.
Oh, that'll be nice. I won't have to do my hair that day.
Exactly.
We'll be at home, sweatpants. Be like, look at us. We look great.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. But no, that's really it. That's all I got today.
Oh, well, good. Good. I'm sure there's more. We'll bring you back every year. Always insightful to have an attorney on here who can talk a little bit about everything that goes on with businesses that you guys don't always think of as business owners, small business, as you elevate through your chamber growth. So thank you, Rocco, for coming on today. Cozza Law Group will share his contact information out there at the end of the show.
Cool.
So thank you.
It was my pleasure. Always a joy.
All right.
Cool.
And thank you for joining us again on the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. Don't forget we have our golf outing coming up June 27th, Moon Golf Club. It's open to members and non-members. Really fun day, hot and sunny as always. And I'm Mandy Pryor, and see you at the next episode.